Oh, today's a good day. I don't care what anybody says. It's not every day you wake up and the beloved show that you loved back in the 80s when you were a kid is being remade and is going to go with a Game of Thrones theme. That's fantastic. Oh, man. I hope Daenerys comes in and just burns the shit out of Skeletor. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel once again. I am Robert Storms. As always, if you find me for the very first time, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Join the Discord. That way you guys can all join the community that we're trying to build, a nice, friendly community where we can go. We can talk about all kinds of stuff, movies, video games, Star Wars. Join the Discord. It's absolutely free. So, getting up early this morning and looking, I'm like, what am I going to talk about? What am I going to talk about? And Screen Rant ran this article. It says, Masters of the Universe, Revelations is the Game of Thrones version of He-Man. And that's precisely what I wanted to hear. Well, I remember when they kept trying to reboot the He-Man movies, like, how many times have we heard, Masters of the Universe is coming out here, and then we're going to, like, oh, we lost this director, now David Goyer is coming in, and it just kept getting rebooted and pushed back, and a million different directors. Look, it's probably never ever going to come out. I'm just going to be honest with you. Unless this show is very successful, then we might actually see the He-Man movie actually come out. But I've always said He-Man needs to be like Lord of the Rings, man. Like, if you ever read the comics, it needs to be very heavily influenced by like Lord of the Rings. This is a fantasy adventure show. It just is. It was inspired, you know, the toy line came out, then came out the cartoon, and then later on, a lot of fans like me who grew up went in and they started doing the comics and WB and DC. I'm telling you, man, Warner Brothers and DC, I gotta give them props, man. Their He-Man comics, no pun intended, but they are masterful. They're so good, so dark, so adult. I love them a lot, and I definitely recommend, if you're a He-Man fan like me, to check that out. So Kevin Smith has a few things he wants to talk about with his Masters of the Universe show that is scheduled to be coming out. Now, originally, it was reported that this is going to pick up right where the original 80s series left off. I don't know how much of that is still true, but some of the comments in here kind of just like made me go, oh my God, I can't wait for this show now. According to comicbook.com, Smith's plan on taking the series in a brand new direction, and one of the ways he intended on doing that is by leaning into the darker elements of the He-Man storyline, which is actually fantastic, because in the comic books, Skeletor completely just severed the head of the sorceress. Like, that shit was insane. I'm telling you, man, those comic books, they're dark. This is where the Game of Thrones influence comes in, because according to Smith, the popular HBO series ushered in a new era by inviting new fans along who had probably never read a fantasy book before their extended vacation in Westeros. In this vein, Smith is determined to create a similar world, minus the nudity and dragon. I don't know about you guys, I was really looking forward to Teela getting down and dirty on top of Castle Grayskull. Can you imagine Prince Adam going, yeah, I got the power? No, that's just, okay. I don't know about you, but Kevin Smith is hyping me up. He is absolutely hyping me up. The one thing I want the most is a darker, grittier Masters of the Universe. And the 80s cartoon was great. I mean, I was a kid. I was dumb. I was stupid. I didn't know any better. I mean, hell, I used to run into the wall just to see what would happen. But to get a grittier version of the show that I loved in the 80s, you know, I want to see what that's like. Like I said, the 80s shows was fine for me being a kid because I'm stupid, but you watch it now, it's extremely outdated. And you're going to tell me I'm going to get a Game of Thrones influenced He-Man Masters of the Universe? Absolutely. And yes, there might not be nudity and you know, hopefully, you know, there could technically be dragons somewhere, you know. I'm pretty sure Kevin Smith's gonna throw in a dragon. But I just want Skeletor, like, ripping shit up. Like, I want Skeletor going in like a boss with his team and just wrecking havoc on Eternia. That's what I want, you know. Sure, do I want to see Teela get down and dirty on Castle Grayskull? I'm hoping Kevin Smith is still gonna make that happen. But everything that I'm reading from this just gives me more faith that Kevin Smith was the guy to do this. Like he knows this universe, he knows this world. Because I think that's the problem with the rebooted movie not getting done, because it's constantly getting pushed back and switching directors, is because the people attached to it aren't fans. They're not fans. I think David Goyer was the closest. David Goyer was in there. I seen a lot of David Goyer's concept art, and he said it was going to be like it was going to be like this Lord of the Rings sci-fi epic, and that's exactly what it's supposed to be. But if the studio does not know what the hell He-Man is and doesn't have a clue what it is, then everything David Goyer was doing isn't going to work. The freedom with Netflix is like, look, we got Kevin Smith, we got an IP that is very recognizable. Hey, let's have faith that he understands the source material. Go, we're not going to interfere. And look at this. We're going to get some great-ass animated Masters of the Universe that's going to be dark and gritty. And hopefully I'll get my Teela fucking on top of Castle Grayskull. But all seriousness though, guys, Kevin Smith saying that the animated He-Man series on Netflix is going to be more inspired by Game of Thrones, to me, I feel is just a good thing. I know that this video isn't going to generate a hell of a lot of clicks, but it's something I want to talk about. I don't get to see news on Masters of the Universe all the time, so when I do come across something, I kind of want to share it with everybody because I am very, very passionate about Masters of the Universe, and I know some of you guys are as well. So guys, tell me what you think. How do you feel about the Masters of the Universe Netflix show going to be a little bit more inspired by the dark tones of Game of Thrones? Do you think that's a good thing? Are you hoping Teela's going to get down and dirty on top of Castle Grayskull? Be sure to leave those comments in the comment box below. Until next time, as always, I'm Robert Storms, and that's my opinion.